Hello everyone, start with a new topic of modern India, factors responsible for the growth of Indian nationalism. In this lecture, we will try to understand what were the British policies and other major factors which led the growth of Indian nationalism during the decades of 1860s, 70s, 80s and the subsequent decades. So, in very short, try to understand what is the nationalism. Let's say you are living in India and peoples living in this territory have a feeling of togetherness. This feeling of togetherness is the nationalism. Let me give you a hint. Like, let's say one of our soldier died because of the attack of a neighbor, let's say China. So, in the response of this attack, what the people living in this territory started doing is the boycott of the product of China. This boycott comes with the feeling of togetherness, and this is also the response of the nationalism. So, when you are dealing with the nationalism, think only about the feeling of togetherness, not with the response of togetherness. This response is because of the nationalism, not the nationalism is the response. I hope you are getting what is the meaning of nationalism. For the long understanding of nationalism, go look at the video of difference between the patriotism and the nationalism. Now we will try to understand what was the major factor which led in the growth of the nationalism. Like people of the region living in this region, think about the present day Pakistan and the Bangladesh when you are dealing with the India of 1816 and the 70s because we haven't partitioned yet. Now we will try to understand some of the British policies which led the growth in the nationalism, like administrative unification of India. Britishers have passed many administrative law, not for the particular region of Madras, Bombay, not for the particular region of Madras, not for the particular region of Bengal, but this is the same for the all the person living in the region of Bombay, Madras, and Bengal. This feeling are giving the sense of togetherness itself by seeing the same law, and most of these laws were also very oppressive in nature. That's why people coming from different region was thinking that it is the time to come together and join and fight for these oppressive law. I am giving some example for it. Vernacular Act 1878 and Indian Arms Act 1878. Because of this act, the person who are writing their newspaper in their regional language, there are many newspapers during the 19th centuries which are in the regional language. Was approximately 170. They cannot write anything against the British government, but the English newspaper can write. So these were the discriminatory in the nature, and also the person who are living in this region cannot hold any arms because of this Indian Arms Act, and these acts become very discriminatory. That's why people had started joining and fight for this act. Find out the name of the many regional newspapers. I am giving you one or two for coming from the Madras, coming from this Bombay presidency. Kesari by Tilak. It was in the Marathi, and another one is Mook Nayak by B.R. Ambedkar. Find out 8 to 10 other name of regional newspapers if you are preparing for any objective type of question. I am giving you another major topic why peoples living in this region had been started thinking about togetherness. Judicial unification of India. Britishers in early time established three courts: Calcutta High Court, Bombay High Court, Madras High Court in 1865, and 1 year later in present day Uttar Pradesh, Allahabad High Court earlier in the Agra, and then 1 year later it was shifted to Allahabad. Rules for these courts had become the same. For example, CRPC, IPC, CPC. What do I mean to say is that a person who is committing suicide in the province of Bengal, who is committing any crime in the province of Bengal, for the same crime, if a person is committing in the province of Madras, is going to govern by this same procedure, this criminal procedure. That is how people had started coming from different regions thinking about the Indianness. And that's how they all had started to joining each other. This togetherness is the nationalism. I am giving another example of nationalism, how it grown during the 19th century, is that critiques on British economic policies. There were many newspapers who had started publishing the critique on British economic policies. For example, what Britishers were doing is that they were taking raw material from this region to their industries, and they dump those manufactured goods into this region. What was there happening because of the dump of these cheap product is that the person, artisans, many one like pottery maker, they all were in the danger. Their job become very critical to survive because these products were very cheap and they were not able to compete with these cheap product, and they all had started losing their jobs. So persons coming from different region had started thinking to come together and join and start fight for this British policies. That is how the nationalism is growing. I am giving you another example how nationalism grow. Newspapers had started publishing high-handedness of British officials, like how persons living British provinces is vulnerable to the British official police. They were beating them here and there, and there was no response. That's why people are thinking that it is time to join them, and the togetherness feeling is growing, and that is the ultimate the growth of nationalism. I am giving another example for this. Modern means of transportation and communication. Modern means of transportation, that railway. Britishers established railway in order to take raw material from their colony to Europe. But what railway did is people's traveling started traveling through railways from this region to that region, and they started developing a sense of togetherness. Another one, the means of communication, is the invention of telegraph. British established this telegraph in order to get the information of the rebellions, but this had led in the growth of the nationalism. People started connecting with each other. So these are the many more examples. You can think other examples also. What you need to do is that you need to think about those examples which led into the growth of the feeling of togetherness for peoples coming the regions of British provinces, and this feeling togetherness is the nationalism. Whatever example I had given to you, you can think other examples. For these examples I have a PPT for you. You can make notes of this, like write these examples in your notebook. If you are writing something, the 5 6 points are here and another one point is here. So these are the major reason for the persons living on those territories, British provinces, to think to come together. You can think many more examples of this. So this is what how nationalism growth in India. Thank you for watching.